You can gauge someone's ignorance by the number of phenomena they explain with the same answer. Those who blame many different issues like war, poverty, and pollution on just one cause, like capitalism, are recycling explanations because the demand for answers outstrips their supply.
Okay, so how much of the suffering, the poverty, and general oppression in North Korea can be attributed to the dictatorship of Kim Jong-un? Probably quite a lot, right? Probably most, considering it's this giant, all-encompassing system that permeates pretty much every aspect of their society. So like if somebody in North Korea told me that the dictatorship of Kim Jong-un was responsible for most of their societal issues, I don't think I'd call them ignorant for that. How about the Congo, right? Given that they're actually one of the richest countries in the world in terms of resources per capita, and yet they're one of the poorest countries in the world in terms of actual living standards. And most of the violence, the suffering, the genocides, the conflicts going on there are directly related to the extraction of those highly valuable resources. I think it stands to reason that a lot of their societal issues can be explained economically, right? The thing is, we have a global economic system, right? A giant, all-encompassing system that permeates almost every aspect of almost every society on the planet. For instance, the resources extracted from the Congo are in the phone that I'm using to make this video, and the light that I'm using to make it look presentable. It seems to me that when it comes to exploring broader societal issues and what might be causing them, advocating for ignoring the very objectively real, massively lucrative economic incentive as a potential driving cause is a whole different level of ignorance. Now, you started your video with a quote, so I'll bring a quote to the table as well. Mine comes from Stafford Beer. He said, "The purpose of a system is what it does." Essentially, if you want to determine what a system is actually for, you can't just listen to the flowery rhetoric used by the people in charge of it, which in this case would be rhetoric about freedom and economic growth and job creation and technological advancement and innovation. It occurred to me saying all of that if you want to argue that attributing all of these negative phenomena to a single cause, being capitalism, is ignorant, then you also have to concede that attributing all the positive phenomenon, economic growth and prosperity and what have you, is equally ignorant, is it not? This argument is very easily turned on its head. Anyway, if the purpose of a system is what it does, what this system has been doing is increasing wealth inequality, eroding the middle class, creating a functional ownership class, incentivizing poverty and destabilization in the developing world for cheap access to resources and labor, incentivizing wars and conflicts in a way that's very profitable for a very small group of super wealthy people. I mean, the American military budget for 2026 is set to be over $1 trillion, and about half of that goes to private corporate contractors who manufacture weapons and equipment and tech. It incentivizes overproduction and wasteful consumption because maximizing consumption is more economically beneficial than actually utilizing resources effectively, which obviously leads to unsustainable levels of pollution. And arguably, it also causes certain levels of growth and innovation and job creation. The question is, what kind of jobs? Do these jobs sustain the lives of the people doing them? What kind of growth? What kind of innovation? What kind of prosperity? Who is benefiting really? See, it seems to me that when the wealth created seems to all be going to one place, but the problems created are distributed a lot more equally, what you've got there is a system that creates inequality. Now, arguments against talk like this usually tend to revolve around personal agency. You know, telling people they should work hard and persevere and develop good habits and try their best to improve their life. Now, that is good personal advice, but in a political conversation, it's also completely irrelevant. A political conversation has nothing to do with your personal journey, right? It's not a conversation about your morning routine and your workout routine and how you keep yourself motivated and the books that you read. It's a conversation about how to structure society and the systems that govern society in a way that is beneficial to the people that make up society. In fact, personal agency would be good advice regardless. If you change the overall economic system in a way that is less exploitable by the ultra-wealthy and more beneficial to everyday working people, telling those people that they should work hard to improve their lot in life is still good advice. In fact, it's better advice, right? Because now you've made the likelihood of success much more probable, right? That's what political conversations are about. How to structure human society in a way that is actually beneficial to human beings. Almost all of the broader problems that society faces, problems like war and poverty and pollution, are either partially or totally economic in nature, which means to address those issues, we have to make changes to the economic system that we have named capitalism.